Hi everyone. My name is Rachel, and I'm 26 years old. I work full-time, live alone, and enjoy my independence. But my family? Well, let's just say they don't always respect my boundaries. A few weeks ago, my uncle Mike called me out of the blue. I don't talk to him often, so I thought maybe something was wrong. Nope. Turns out, he had a favor to ask. Rachel, I need you to watch the kids next week. Just a few days. Maybe a week at most. Now, Uncle Mike has 3 kids, Luke, 10, Ava, 7, and Max, 4. They're good kids. But let's be real. 3 kids for a week? That's not a favor. That's a full-time job that I hesitated and asked, "Where are you going?" He said, "Oh, just a little fishing trip with my buddies. It'll be good for me to get away." At first, I thought he was joking, leaving his kids for a week to go fishing. But no, he was serious. And worse, he expected me to drop everything to take care of them. Come on, Rachel. You're great with kids. It's just 1 week. I don't have kids. I work long hours. And most importantly, I never agreed to be anyone's free babysitter. So I told him, "Sorry, but I can't do that." That's when the guilt trip started. "Oh, so you're too busy for family now? You don't even have kids. You wouldn't understand how hard this is. It's just 1 week. You act like I'm asking for a year." But I stood my ground. I told him I have work, I have responsibilities, and that his kids are his responsibility. Then, he hung up on me. I thought that was the end of it. Oh, how wrong I was. Because the next day, I got a very angry call from my mom. The next morning, my phone buzzed aggressively. It was my mom, that I barely had time to say hello before she launched into it. "Rachel, what is wrong with you? Your uncle just told me how you refuse to help him out. You're seriously going to let your poor uncle struggle when all he's asking for is a little support?" A little support? He wanted me to watch 3 kids for an entire week while he sat by a lake drinking beer. I took a deep breath and calmly explained, "Mom, I have a job. I can't just take a week off to babysit. That's not fair to me." She scoffed. "You work from home. Don't act like you're so busy." I had to correct her immediately. Working from home doesn't mean I'm free to chase after a 4-year-old all day. My job is demanding. I have deadlines. Plus, it's not my responsibility. Mom was not having it. Family helps family, Rachel. That's how we were raised. If you ever needed something, wouldn't you want people to be there for you? I tried to be reasonable. "Mom, if I had kids, I wouldn't dump them on someone last minute so I could go on vacation." That's not helping, that's taking advantage. That's when she lowered her voice to that dangerous, disappointed tone. "I didn't raise you to be so selfish." Ouch. But before I could respond, she hit me with, "You know what? If your uncle can't rely on his own niece, I don't know what kind of family we've become." And then she hung up. I sat there, stunned. She made it sound like I had abandoned them in their time of need. Like Uncle Mike wasn't literally planning a vacation while expecting me to play full-time mom. But I figured, okay, maybe this will blow over. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Because later that night, I got a text from my aunt, Uncle Mike's wife. And it was brutal. I hesitated before opening the text. I already knew it wasn't going to be good. But when I finally did, my jaw dropped. "Aunt Linda, wow, Rachel, I can't believe you do this to family. Do you have any idea how hard Mike works? He deserves a break, and you just had to be difficult. I hope you never need a favor from us, because we'll remember this." I was stunned. First of all, what? Uncle Mike deserved a break. From what? Being a dad. Because I was pretty sure his wife was still going to be taking care of the kids 24/7 when he left. Meanwhile, I was supposed to just drop my entire life and do it for free? Oh, and the guilt trip about never asking for a favor? That was rich, considering I'd never asked them for anything. But before I could even process it, another text popped up. "Aunt Linda, you're so entitled. You don't even have kids. You have no idea how exhausting it is. But one day, when you do, I hope someone treats you the way you're treating us now." So that's how it was. She didn't just think I should babysit. She thought I had no excuse not to. Like my time wasn't valuable because I wasn't a parent myself. I was fuming. But before I could respond, guess who called? Uncle Mike. And he didn't sound mad. No, he sounded smug. "Hey, kiddo. Just wanted to see if you've come to your senses yet. Figure I'll give you another chance to do the right thing. Oh, oh, no he didn't. I took a deep breath. Mike, I already said no. He laughed. Come on. It's just 1 week. You're being dramatic. I snapped. I work. I have responsibilities. And most importantly, I'm not a free babysitter just because you want to go on vacation. Silence. Then, he scoffed. Wow. I always thought you were a sweet kid, Rachel. Guess I was wrong. And then, he hung up on me. I stared at my phone, my heart pounding. And just when I thought this couldn't possibly get worse, my mom called again. And this time, she wasn't just disappointed. She was furious. I hesitated before answering. My mom never called twice in a row unless something was seriously wrong. But the only wrong thing here was me refusing to be used as a free babysitter. Still, my gut told me this call wasn't going to be good. I picked up. Mom. I barely got the word out before she went off. Rachel, what the hell is wrong with you? I blinked. Excuse me? Mike just called me, and he is devastated. You embarrassed him, Rachel. You made him feel like he was some kind of burden when all he wanted was a little help. I nearly laughed. A burden? This man had a whole wife and multiple other family members, but somehow I was the only one expected to step up. Mom, I didn't embarrass him. He just didn't like hearing no for once in his life. She sighed like I was being unreasonable. He was counting on you, honey. He already booked the trip. And now you're just going to let him waste all that money? I gritted my teeth. That's not my problem. Not your problem? Rachel, this is family. You don't just turn your back on family over something so small. Oh, so now I was the villain. So let me get this straight. He books a trip before even asking me to babysit, just assumes I'll do it, and when I say no, suddenly I'm the bad guy. It's 1 week, Rachel. 1 week out of your entire life. That's 1 week of me missing work, putting my responsibilities on hold, and watching kids that aren't mine because a grown man can't be bothered to do his job as a parent. Silence. Then, my mom's voice dropped. You're being selfish. That word hit me like a slap. Selfish? Really? For having boundaries? For not helping your own family when they need you? Funny, because when I need help, no one seems to be around. That shut her up for a second, then. She pulled the card. Rachel, do you think I would have raised you this way if I knew you were going to turn out so ungrateful? Oh, there it was, guilt. Manipulation. Trying to make me feel like I was somehow in the wrong for not bending over backwards for a man who had no respect for my time. I clenched my fist. If standing up for myself makes me ungrateful, then fine. I'd rather be ungrateful than be a doormat. You know what, Rachel? I'm done talking to you when you're like this. But I hope one day you realize how much you've hurt your family. Clicked that I stared at my phone, feeling a mix of anger, frustration, and disbelief. And then, I got another text. This time, from my brother. And when I saw what he wrote, I almost threw my phone across the room. I took a deep breath and opened my brother's text. Wow, Rachel, you really couldn't just help out for 1 week? Mom's upset. Uncle Mike's upset. Was it really that hard to just be a decent person? I stared at my screen. Was he serious? I fired back. A decent person? You mean like Mike, who didn't even ask before planning his trip? Or Mom, who thinks my time is worthless? I'm supposed to drop everything for them, but where are they when I need help? His reply came instantly. You're making a huge deal out of nothing. It's just babysitting. You act like they asked you to donate a kidney. Oh, that set me off. If it's just babysitting, then why didn't Mike ask you? Or Mom? Or literally anyone else? Why is it always me? This time, it took him a minute to respond. Because you don't have kids. You have free time. It's different for me. Oh, so now my time was less valuable because I wasn't a parent? Because I didn't have a spouse or a mortgage? I was fuming. So because I don't have kids, my life doesn't matter? My job doesn't matter? My plans don't matter? That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said. You're just twisting things to be the victim. I took a deep breath, my hands shaking as I typed. No, I'm just done being the family's free labor. You want to take Mike's side? Fine. But don't ever expect me to cover for you either. I hit send, and then I turned off my phone because I knew the next text would be from my mom, from Mike, maybe even from my aunt or some cousin I barely talked to, all telling me how selfish I was, how I was breaking the family apart. But I didn't care anymore. I wasn't a free babysitter. I wasn't a backup plan. And if they couldn't respect that, then maybe they never respected me at all. After turning off my phone, I sat there in silence, staring at the wall. I felt angry, sure, but also exhausted. Why did standing up for myself always have to feel like a battle? Like I was some kind of villain for just having boundaries? And then, bang, bang, banged at a knock at my door that I froze. No one just showed up at my place unannounced. My stomach sank that I got up slowly, peeking through the peephole. Mom, Dotto. Great that I took a deep breath and cracked the door open. Mom, what are you doing here? Her arms were crossed, her expression tight. I came to talk some sense into you, she said, stepping inside like she owned the place. I barely had time to react before she was already in my living room, turning to face me with that disappointed mom look. Rachel, this is ridiculous. You know how much Mike has done for this family. And when he finally asks for a favor, you just refuse? Like some spoiled child? I blinked. A favor? I repeated, laughing bitterly. Mom, this wasn't a favor. This was him expecting me to rearrange my entire week with zero warning. Mom sighed dramatically, like I was being so unreasonable. Rachel, he assumed you'd say yes because you always do. That's why he didn't think he needed to ask first. Oh, oh wow. So you're saying this is my fault? Because I was too accommodating in the past? Mom pinched the bridge of her nose. I'm saying you're overreacting. It's not a big deal. I folded my arms. Then why didn't you offer to watch them? She scoffed. Rachel, I'm too old to be chasing after kids all day. You know that. I stared at her. And I have a full-time job. You know that. She waved me off like it didn't count. Oh, please. You work from home. You could have managed. Oh, that was it. And there it is. I laughed, shaking my head. You think because I work from home, I don't actually work. That my time doesn't matter. That I should just be available whenever you need something. She opened her mouth, but I wasn't done. Let me make something crystal clear, Mom. I'm not a free babysitter. I don't exist to make your life or Mike's life easier. And if you can't respect that, then maybe we need to take a break from talking for a while. Mom's eyes widened. Rachel, don't be dramatic. I'm not. I'm just done. Her mouth opened and closed like she wanted to argue, but I could see it. That flicker of doubt. The realization that maybe, just maybe, she pushed me too far this time. And then she huffed, grabbed her purse, and stormed out. I let out a shaky breath, locking the door behind her. Maybe she'd come around. Maybe she wouldn't. But for the first time in a long time, I wasn't the one bending over backward to keep the peace, and honestly, that felt pretty damn good. That was the end of my story, or at least, I thought it was. That I gave myself a few days to cool off, expecting maybe a text from Mom, maybe some passive-aggressive Facebook post about kids these days having no respect. But instead, radio silence. No texts. No calls. At first, it was a relief. But then I started wondering, was this really over? Or was she just waiting for the right moment? And then, a week later, I got my answer. A family group chat notification. I opened it, expecting the usual forwarded memes from my aunt. Instead, it was Mike. Hey everyone, just wanted to say thanks to MOM for stepping up and watching the kids this week. Absolute lifesaver. Don't know what I'd do without her. Odato, no. Not even a full minute later, another message popped up from Mom. Of course, Mike. You know I'd do anything for family. Unlike some people. I gritted my teeth. And then, because I was feeling petty, I replied, glad you found someone to help. I'm sure she didn't mind rearranging her whole week at the last minute. Silence, and then Mom left the group chat. Mike reacted with a thumbs down emoji. I stared at my screen, debating whether I should just mute the chat forever. But before I could decide, a private message popped up. From my cousin, Sarah. Dude, what the hell is going on? So, what now? Do I just let it go? Or do I finally air out everything? I stared at Sarah's message, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. Should I tell her everything? Should I just let it go? Before I could decide, another message popped up from Mike. You could have just said no without making a big deal. We all help each other out in this family. Maybe try being less selfish. Oh, that was it. That was the last straw, and I took a deep breath and let it all out. Mike, I did say no. You just didn't like hearing it. I've spent years being the go-to babysitter while you go on trips and live your life like you don't have kids. Mom always defends you, but I'm done. If helping family means being treated like a free nanny, then maybe it's not me who needs to change. And then, just to twist the knife, I added, also, maybe next time, plan your fishing trips around your parental responsibilities. Just a thought. I hit send and muted the chat. I expected more drama. Maybe a phone call, maybe mom banging on my door. But instead, silence. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my uncle's kids and finally standing up for myself? Was I too harsh in how I handled it? Should I have just sucked it up for the sake of family? Or was I right to put my foot down? Let me know what you think.
Make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you're the first to know when the next update drops. Trust me, things are only going to get more intense. Stay tuned for all the drama, and you won't regret it.